Hello Pisces, thank you for tuning in to this week's read. For the main part of the read, I'm using Tarot Illuminati by Eric C. Dunn. Is that focusing? Maybe not. Hopefully it's focusing. I don't know why it's doing that right now, but there you go. Supportive Oracle Cards, Chakra Wisdom Oracle Cards by Tori Hartman, illustrated by Gretchen. I think that's focusing now. Maybe it's just the way I'm looking at it. Alright. That's it information, so if you'd like to find those artists, there you go. Pisces. Okay. Pisces. That's a weird one. That's a weird one. Okay, so Pisces. What do we have going on here for Pisces? You might end up having one of these moments where you just kind of speak your mind, I have a feeling. I don't think it's planned, just to be fair. You get insecurity on your side. Something's getting under your skin a little bit. Something's really kind of like edging at you a little bit here and there. I almost feel like you're not even planning, like you might even be telling yourself you're not going to say anything, but you're just kind of maybe muttering to yourself out loud, but it's personal and nobody else is around, or just inside your head you're just kind of complaining something out. I just don't feel like you're planning to really say anything because it's detached. And it says insecurity, but it's detached. It's kind of like something's annoying you. It's like that little devil is getting on your nerves. Excuse me. Expansion is in the environment. Excuse me. Sorry about the cough. So people are getting things done. People are doing things. I almost feel like there's things going on around you that you should be included in, or you feel like you should be included in, but it's kind of like going on around you instead of including you. It just feels like it's going on all around you and not really pulling you into the situation. I feel like that's kind of annoying. Kind of like, I'm a part of this too. How come people aren't listening to me when I'm saying stuff? How come people aren't coming to me like they're going to these other people? Like, what's the deal with that? I feel like it's a situation that you're actively helping in. I got the service card here is like you're actively doing what you need to do. This is a situation where you are active in it, but it feels like people are moving around you and not with you. They're not including you in the decision making or asking for your opinion or trying to get your input. And it's almost like it's one of those moments where you kind of feel like you have to say your 2 cents. Like you have to put something in there. There's something you just have to say. It's not like when it first comes forward, it's just kind of like it's not a big deal. You just got to make sure people know something. It's not a big deal. But I feel like when you say it, it kind of might come off really, really biting. Because you got the Queen of Swords on your side after that. I really don't feel like you're trying to come across, like it's coming across strong. I feel that it's coming across very blunt and to the point, and you're just kind of like, this right here, I'm not a fan of that. I feel like it's coming across really strong, but you're not intending it to. That's really what I'm feeling from it. Something has aggravated you. I feel like you're trying to get along with it, but it's almost kind of like getting ready to leave for the trip, and you're like the car is on E, and you're just kind of like before everybody starts packing up the whole car and getting everything in it, and going to here to get this and there to get that. You're like, before we go anywhere, we need to put gas in the car because there's nothing in there. But when you say it, it comes across really blunt. And then somebody might call you back on it. And I feel like might what click it. Somebody might say something back a little bit, kind of like, well, we'll do it when we have to. And that might be what kind of puts it in motion, kind of like, well, you have to now. And it just, boom, a few other things might come out with that. I keep getting over and over that you're not intending to argue or start an argument or anything. You're not looking for that really, but it just kind of like you're just saying, listen, you need to know that the car needs gas, you're not getting anywhere. And then somebody retorts something back. It's something like that. Somebody retorts something back. Ugh, we'll deal with it when we have to. And you're just kind of like, you push it right back like, well, you have to now. And you know what else you have to deal with now? Boom. And there it goes. Because somebody snips at you and you're just kind of like, I've had it. I'm over it. And now I'm going to snip at you the way you just snipped at me. When you do say your piece, I get that you're heard. You're definitely heard. I feel like other people around are kind of like, okay, like they're getting, like you're not impressed. There's something you need to say. You don't feel like you were heard, so you made sure that you were heard. Ace of Pentacles shows up in the environment. Queen of Pentacles brings it forward over into the situation. Like if it's not the person who originally snipped at you, kind of smoothing it over, it's somebody else in earshot is what I'm feeling. So it's one of the two. Somebody's kind of like, oh, okay, no, I understand. You're right. We do need to do that before we go ramrouting all over the town. Like, you know, we got to get gas in the car, or else we're going to end up having big problems. This person, whoever snipped at you, or whoever got on your nerves, or was kind of aggravating you, I don't feel like this is the end of that situation. But I do feel like in this moment, it seems like everything is rectified. The Sun card comes out right after that. Whoever it is trying to smooth the situation over with you actually does a good job and you're happy with it. I feel like you're kind of walking away from it after that, kind of like, oh, okay, everything is fine. Why worry about it? Why get upset? Facade, though, is the word they're giving. And I'm feeling like the facade might be that, you know, things are all good. And I don't know if it's on your side or on the other side, in the sense of like... like I feel like you say your piece, things work out right, and they do work out right, and then you're like, all right, well, you know, I just needed to say my piece, and now everything's okay. Like, why worry about it? I don't care. It's fine. Like, I don't have any animosity. Somebody else here is upset though, but I don't really see what they're upset about, because it doesn't seem like there's anything for them to really be upset about. I will say, as a Pisces though, it might be I'm kind of empathizing with the Pisces energy very easily. Because somebody else feels like they got their toes stepped on, and they're a little upset, and they don't understand why they were the bad guy, and like why they were the ones that got it pushed in their face. And there's this weird energy going back and forth here. I don't see you having a problem with this person. I kind of look at you, kind of looking at it in the sense of, I look at you. Okay, whatever. The way you're receiving this energy, it just feels like, all right, you know, you seem to be a little out of joint about something, and that's fine, and I'm just going to leave you alone. I don't see you really getting upset with anybody again. You weren't looking for an argument to begin with. You're not looking for one now. The moment it happened, you said what you had to say. Somebody pushed your buttons, and, you know, they sniped at you. You sniped right back. Fair is fair. When I'm feeling it from your side, it's kind of like it's a wash. And you're just letting the situation move on. Kind of like, well, you know, it was kind of a rough situation for a moment, but it worked out well. I am noticing your side is heavy. When I pick up your cards, I do get, like, one of the triggers I know for negative energy that's, like, a reader trigger for me anyway, is yawning or tightness in the face and jaw. And I'm like, when I pick up your cards, I immediately feel that. And I'm like, okay, what's going on with that? So are you stressed about this? I don't feel like you are, but you're aware of the negativity. I don't see you really dealing with it, though. Because I'm seeing this, like, this space between you and whoever it is. I don't see you really going at them or getting in contact with them. I don't really see them contacting you either. You might be hearing about little comments behind the scenes. Like, somebody else might be running back and telling you things that are going on. I don't see anything happening with it, though. But I'm noticing the heavy energy is on your side. This moves forward a little farther. And I'm noticing you have the Four of Wands. Nothing is damaged on your side, and you seem to know that. Like, it's nothing different than what's been going on. You just might have said your piece, and it's just something that you weren't planning on saying. So it's almost kind of like, well, you know, it's nothing that isn't true, nothing that was a lie, nothing that was false happened. You said your piece, and then you got things worked out, and you think that's fair. But you're starting to see that this other person is like harping on it. You're hearing about it behind the scenes. They're avoiding you. They might be cutting you out of certain situations. Like if they're in control of like a get together, they won't invite you. Things like that. The recovery with the confusion is kind of like somebody else is trying to recover what happened. They're trying to recover like their control of the situation. The recover card, oddly enough, does not feel empowered to me. It feels more about, they want to get back what they think they were cheated out of. Not that it's not a tangible thing. It's just like the moment like they were embarrassed or something that you snap back at them and now as if you made them look like a fool. But they were just treating you poorly as it was, is what I'm looking at. So you just stood up for yourself. I don't know, it's weird. They just seem to be having this weird energy about it. The card in the middle here is the Eight of Swords on its side, which tells me some of this is kind of like a trap. The other part is kind of like freeing you from this trap. Because I don't feel you really playing into it. You're just kind of letting it go. You're letting this person kind of dig their own hole. I don't see it being that big of a problem for you. This might actually lead to something else, because I'm noticing the Five of Swords is next on your side, kind of like this keeps happening. I don't see you addressing it directly if you don't have to, and I don't feel like most of you will. And the longer it goes, I feel like this person just seems to be annoying for, like they just seem to be highlighting how annoying they are. You don't seem to be causing any issue. It was a moment, you called something out, you did what you felt you had to do. The situation was smoothed over, you moved on from it, you're not creating anything from it beyond that. This other person is, and for those of you that this tends to be, if this happens to be a work situation for somebody, I feel like this is going to really go in your favor, because it seems to be that's the way corporate America likes to handle it. Something happens, the situation is dealt with, then they want the people both to just move on with their lives like nothing happened. And you seem to be doing that. This other person doesn't. So they seem to be being targeted as the problem, because it's kind of like, listen, we already dealt with that. Why are you dragging it on forever? Keep doing that. Keep just ignoring the situation. Have faith that this will go in your direction. What I'm getting is this person is making themselves look like a problem. Whoever it is, I feel like they're being highlighted as a problem, because they keep going on about it and keep going on about it and keep going on about it. In truth, it wasn't that big of an issue. It wasn't that big of a deal. It wasn't that long of a situation. You said something you felt was important for people to know. They gave you a nasty retort back, and you gave it right back to them. Somebody else stepped in and said, hey, what's going on? They found out what's going on. They smoothed it all over. You were happy and moved on. This other person seems like they're all bent out of shape because they got told, you're not handling things well, whoever did it. They're not letting it go, and it's going to cause them problems. They might just cause themselves a big problem. Because when I'm getting completion in the environment, this person might end up, if it's a work situation, this could end up being big problems for them with the completion card. If it's more of a family or a social structure like that, I'm feeling like other people are going to be like, you know what, you really need to let it go. I feel like other people coming in and saying, listen, you really need to let it go. It's not that big of a deal. You're making more out of it than needs to be. You're making a mountain out of a molehill. Let it go. This is saying it depends on what the situation is. Certain people, certain ones of you, this person's going to kind of fall away. But there's going to be, I feel like the majority of you, they're not. This is somebody who's just going to keep lingering around. When the prayer card comes in here, I feel like it's saying you got to see this person for who they are. You got to realize who they are, and you got to figure out a better way to deal with them. The best way to really start to figure that out is like to see how they're treating other people. Are they the type of person that treats people well if there's something they can do for them, somebody else can do for them, that person? Or are they just, do they get really moody? Are they overexcitable? Because I know some people that are good people, but they get very excited and they get very out of shape, bent out of shape about the littlest things sometimes, but they're still good people, and it's kind of like maybe that's the problem. Watch how they treat other people, how they interact with other people, and I feel like you might realize first what type of person this is, good, bad, or indifferent. And then from there, like, you might also pick up some pointers by watching others on how to handle this person without having controversy. Like, when is the right time to approach this person to stay, in good favor. There's a heavy feeling with that too, kind of like, 'cause you don't want to bend over backwards for somebody with a bad behavior, but you'll find ideas and ways to deal with this person. The weirdest thing here is I really don't think you did anything wrong. Even like when you snap back at somebody, I feel like they revved you up and they got you going. Like, it wasn't out of nowhere. So I think this is going to end well. They're just trying to give you a heads up about pay attention to this person, identify this person, and get a better plan for dealing with this person. So that way down the road you can avoid more instances like this, maybe preemptively work around it, because there's no reason for you to have to go through this stress. Other people don't want to go through this stress. But you can find a different way to work around this without ending up with any stress at all and getting your point out there so that it doesn't have to be an issue. Alright, I'm going to shut this down here. I hope that helps. Thank you for watching. If you'd like a direct reading from me, shoot me an email, jamesforastral@gmail.com. That's James, the number 4, astral@gmail.com. Thank you.